The fourth film in the Harry Potter franchise was The Goblet of Fire, and within this movie, students from different schools partake in dangerous tournament quests. In today's video, I am going to go over 10 things you might not have known about Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoy and subscribe to the channel, and let us know you subscribed, as you could get a shout out at the end of the month.
I'm not wearing that, it's ghastly.
Number 1. We can probably all remember Hermione's Cinderella moment when she walked down the steps into the Yule Ball. Well, what you might not have known is that the dress she's wearing in the movie wasn't the first pick. The costume designer for this specific part designed a multitude of different dresses before they finally were satisfied with the outcome. As well as that, in one of the very first takes of this moment, Emma Watson actually tripped on her dress and fell down the stairs. Number 2. There is a scene in this movie where the students are partaking in a Triwizard Tournament task, which involves going underwater and saving somebody they love. This underwater scene was shot in a huge tank with a blue screen background, and of course there were divers on hand with air tanks so that the actors and actresses were able to stay underwater for long periods of time. Daniel Radcliffe alone spent a period of almost 42 minutes underwater, which is absolutely crazy if you ask me. Number 3. Going back to the Yule Ball, there is a scene where the students are dancing. Everything looks perfectly fine, but unfortunately Daniel Radcliffe, the actor for Harry, is not particularly good at dancing. He was in nearly every shot and he only had 4 days to prepare, and this is the reason why when watching the movie you can only see from the waist up on him to hide his bumbling feet. Up until Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, every other movie opens with a scene that involves Harry in some way, but staying true to the book, the Goblet of Fire movie opens up with the Tom Riddle house.
Down without him, and it will be done exactly as I said.
Number 5. Originally, The Goblet of Fire was meant to be in 2 separate films, which would both be released several months apart. I'm glad that wasn't the case though, because it would have left a lot of fans, including me, wanting to know what happened next. Alfonso, who is the director of Prisoner of Azkaban, convinced Mike Newell, the director of The Goblet of Fire, not to do so, and I'm very glad to hear that. Number 6. Mike Newell received a whopping $1 million for directing The Goblet of Fire, but if you compare that to Chris Columbus, who was the director of the first film, it's not a lot of money. Chris made $10 million on top of a percentage of the gross. I'm pretty sure that Mike needs a better agent. Number 7. You know all the books that you see inside of Dumbledore's library? Well, they are not all what the eye makes them out to be. They are books, yes, but not the type that you would think. They are actually phone books in disguise. Probably because of how thick they are, and you can see within the library that all the books are pretty big. So disguising a few phone books to make them look like wizard books was an amazing idea.
Dumbledore's got style.
Number 8. When the Triwizard Tournament came along, other schools came to Hogwarts to get involved. One of them was Beauxbatons, which was an all-girls school, and the other one was an all-boys school, which was called Drumstrange. But if you have read the book, you will know that this is not the case. But the film obviously altered this. Number 9. Cedric Diggory is played by the now well-known Robert Pattinson. The Goblet of Fire was Robert's first movie, but since then he has gained his fame from Twilight. This movie, unfortunately, was the only movie in which he dies, and we all know a lot of fans were sad when that happened. Number 10, and last on today's list, we have something to do with the Dursleys, a not so well liked family. Did you ever notice that during the Goblet of Fire, you didn't see them within the film? Well, that is because the family who played the Dursleys demanded more money. I guess showbiz got to their head.
With any luck, this could well be the day I make the biggest deal of my career.
Well, there we have it. 10 things you probably didn't know about the Goblet of Fire. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.